What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm on my way out to Damon's workshop, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away from me. I've got the car on the back, on the trailer, and the E36 is about to get some serious surgery done to it, and I'm very excited. Basically, the whole turbo setup is getting stripped down, so we're saying goodbye to the whole turbo setup. Turbo, manifold, link pipe, downpipe, exhaust, intercooler piping, keeping the same intercooler, and everything else is getting replaced with bigger stuff, which is super exciting. We're going to custom make a turbo manifold, which is going to be really cool because you guys are going to get to see firsthand how it's done. I'm not making it because I do not have the skills to make it. Damon's making it because he is an amazing fabricator. Today we're going to do a teardown of the turbo setup, and we're going to start making the new turbo manifold for you guys to see. Get excited. Woo! While we're driving, of course, we're catching up on some NMLZ vlogs, and his road to FD, pretty rad. Alright, we've arrived, finally. That sucked. There was a lot of traffic. Took me twice as long as it should have to get here. Car's good to go. Damon's here. How's the pub, mate?
Yeah, had a burger.
Oh man, this thing looks so cool. Haha, he steals it. Get it up on the hoist. No time to waste. Alright, the bonnet's off. Just like that. Oh, new turbo boy. Where's that at? Yeah, that's the turbo we're chucking on it. So we're going to go ahead and rip this whole turbo setup off. It's the last time it's ever going to be on this engine. It's a sad day, but not really. New setup. Shout out to White Line for their rad sway bars. Doesn't look too bad, does it?
I expect you to have no chassis rails left.
Let's suss out the exhaust. It's like an oval up here.
Oh, and that's where you lost the wheel?
Yeah, that's from where I lost the wheel. Oh my god. What? Look at my gearbox mount. It's smashed.
Where? Oh, I got a spare.
We've got the downpipe off. We've got the exhaust off. Now taking the turbo manifold off. Much easier to do when you don't have anything under there. Super easy to access the bolts. Turbo's off. How's it looking in there? Good to go, right?
Yeah, good to go.
Goodbye, Garrett Turbo. Thank you for having us.
Zero exhaust.
So now we've just got to remove the link pipe, then pull the turbo manifold off, and that's the whole turbo setup off.
That's like a 3-finger. This is like a decent fist.
Jesus. That's the difference in size of the turbos we're about to use. So front housing, 0.50. I don't know what this is.
No, I can't remember.
But it's much bigger.
And the rear housing, that one doesn't look it because it's internally gated. But
This warehousing is much bigger.
Yeah, but
than
this one's got all the internal gate mech through here.
Yeah, it does. This doesn't have that. Yes. Turbo manifold's off. Yeah. Stoked. She is bare and ready for the new turbo manifold. Alright, so we have the brand new turbo manifold flange sitting up against the engine. Looks mad. And the Damon's got the bends. This thing's gonna be crazy.
We're just trying to find out if we're going to fit a dump down here. Which is highly doubtful.
For sure, because there's no room there. But that's the room you've got to play with. Here's all our parts for the manifold. Flexi joint for the exhaust. V-band clamps. The reason I brought it out here is because Damon has a workshop with a hoist. They do some crazy stuff. His family races trucks. This truck is freaking crazy. Nissan Patrol. A next level roll cage that Damon built. Woo! This thing is crazy. And we want the best of the best, so that's why we bring it up to Damon. And then they got these little buggies. They use these for hunting, I think. Rest the gun up on here and phew. Are there any toys we can play on?
Don't want to wreck our grass. And end up with it probably roughly in the same spot where it was. But
that looks like a good spot for the turbo though.
Yeah, alright.
Kinengoa TD06 25G.
Yeah.
Big boy. Big spoolie boy. Damon has finished
the collectors.
the collectors.
So, first job, most painful job ever of doing a manifold. This being a 6-cylinder, we need to make 6 pipes into one, just into the flange, or in this case, we're running it into a big 90 that's going to come up to the turbo. So what I make up is these little collectors. This is normal pipe, cut, and what they do is they cut on the right angle, so all the angles they join have to make 360 degrees. In this case, 120 degrees off center for all these. So there's 2, and you get number 3 here. A little bit more shaping to do to get a bit of burrs out, but still, you get the theory of it. And with a nice joint in the middle,
yes.
They go together like that. Then we make 2 lots of 3, and then from there, we'll shape this sort of down on an angle like that into the same as the opposing one, so there'll be a pair, and then that'll be 6 into 1.
Yes, that's the first part of our manifold. And while Damon's been doing that, I've been diagnosing a noise that I can hear in the rear end of the car while every time I release the clutch. I kind of already had an idea of what it was, but we've got the diff up here, and E36s always have this problem with this diff bolt right here. So we've got 2 bushes at the rear, 1 and 2. These support obviously the back of the diff, and then at the front, for some reason BMW thought it would be a great idea just to have one to the left of the diff. So the diff twists under load and it puts all the load onto this one bolt. So you'll know when you go drifting and you're in an E36 and you're like, yeah, I'm having the best time ever, and you're like, conk, and then it's like grinding noises in the rear end, and that's when you snap your diff bolt. I've done this a bunch of times. So we actually replaced the diff bolt with a 12.9 grade bolt. It's like the strongest bolt you can get, and we drilled it out, put a big one in, welded a washer in here, and that solved the problem for us kind of. But as you can see, when I put my handy dandy crowbar in here, and lots of movement, and that is not what you want with the diff. So we are gonna solve that problem. So yeah, lots to do, but I'm gonna rip these arms out now and put the camera arm in. It is so good having a workshop and a hoist. I've got this arm which is ready to come out. Boom. And so we're getting rid of this giant arm and replacing it with that. And this bad boy will go up in this spot with double the adjustment and lots of clearance up here, because as you can see the arm's been hitting the body because it is giant, but we're getting rid of it and then we can have more lows. Boom. Alright, let's get this other arm in. Damon's about to start picking up the collectors. Boy. That's crazy.
You want to go?
Look, I couldn't do it with my gasless MIG. I'll admit that. And they are welded.
Nearly done.
They look so pretty too. Just tidy them up now, but they look awesome.
I didn't realize how much little room there is. I was wanting to make some real cool, like, spaghetti style manifold, but to do that, we're going to lose power, because to be able to run a dump pipe over top with the current setup, you physically can't get 3-inch down here. And I sort of don't want to reduce down from 3 back to 2.5, back to 3. Back 3 going to join you here, and then we're going to jump up to 2-inch. So the back one, so we're going to run up like this, run it across, and then link in the front 3 through here, so it all flows through.
I mean, yeah, that's the version 1 of the turbo setup. Version 2 is going to be much more fancy boy.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot more power,
No
but
exhaust
more reliability. Yeah, no exhaust leaks, you know, the good stuff. So, very keen. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put this new arm up top in here versus the old arm here, and as you can see, yeah, it just looks a lot nicer, gives us a whole bunch more room up top here as well. I'm going to cut this little knob out, this little knob sticking from the car out here, and yeah, so this will come up, but also gives us a lot more adjustability, and just looks fancy. It means we can actually dial, because these cars are always for some reason towing out, it's really hard to get them to kind of tow straight or tow in at all. Having these arms will allow us to adjust the tow better as well, which is going to help when it comes to aligning the car. So that's rad. Still got to do the other side. A couple of weeks until round 3, and this thing is just going to be a completely different car, a whole new car, and I freaking cannot wait. Damon is making progress on the manifold, really quick progress actually, and it's already starting to take shape and look freaking awesome. It's such a work of art, it's ridiculous. I'm just watching and not really believing. It looks so good. It's pretty mind-blowing the speed that this dude works at. Alright, so we've made some crazy progress already in the last 5 hours that we've been here. We pulled the whole turbo set up, and this is where we're at. The new turbo manifold already starting to take shape.
Had some troubles getting around the steering shaft.
The steering shaft is always a hard one, but we've managed, or Damon's managed, not we've. I've done literally nothing to do with this, to get around the steering shaft, which is nice. And it's all starting to come together. We're gonna call it a night right now because we're hungry. We're gonna go hang out, but we'll be back tomorrow morning and it'll be in the same video. So we'll see you guys then. Alright, we're back for another day in the workshop. We've had coffee, we've had food, and we're good to go. Damon's already making progress on the manifold. Ooh,
I had to put this kink in it to go around the steering shaft. The steering shaft comes through here.
It does.
So
that's crazy, dude. That's looking awesome. One more runner to do, which will go to here. We'll probably literally just run a piece of straight pipe straight down to here and just literally have it running so it almost blocks this off, because this run is useless anyway. Is that alright or not? I'm kidding. So while Damon's been mucking around with the manifold, I have removed the rear Rio from the back of the car. As you can see, we've clipped a few walls in this thing, which is exactly what it's made for. RIP tail lights. So the back's a little bit bent up, especially on this side. So what I'll do, I'll unbolt one of these, I'll bolt it back in place right here, and we're going to use it as a pulling point to pull the rear of the car, because the whole thing's kind of shifted this way at the moment, so I'm going to pull the whole thing back that way. It's pretty easy. The battery will no longer live here, so I'll have a battery box mounted here, And then where the battery is at the moment, we're going to have the surge tank with the new fuel setup. I'm currently running a Walbro 255 in-tank fuel pump. We'll continue to run that, but that's going to feed a surge tank that will be feeding a Bosch 044 fuel pump. So it won't surge when we're under half a tank, because at the moment, basically once I get near a quarter of a tank of fuel, I'm going sideways around corners, the fuel sloshes and it surges. So basically a surge tank stops that, which is really sweet. Also we're going to run E35 fuel instead of 98. So the Bosch 044 and the Walbro 255 will work well with the E85. May have to upgrade the injectors, but we will see when we put it on the dyno. Same as working as magic. Last runner.
Last runner. Gonna figure out the placement we're gonna run.
Man, it just looks so good. All right, just test fitting the manifold now. Let's go with the runners on it. Good?
Seems so.
Yeah, that's awesome. The plan is to run underneath with the dump pipe, because there's lots of room. And that's how she looks underneath. Woo, she's so fancy, boy. That is the room we have to play with for the dump pipe, which is lots of room. All right, so we've got the basic gist of the manifold together.
And from here, I'll just trim it all up a little bit, tighten up my gaps a little bit. See a little bit of a gap here.
Yep.
I want to tighten that up so it's flush.
That is the normal gap for my welding, so that's cool.
Mike, your gap's normally this.
Yeah, my gaps are about this big, so.
So yeah, tie up a few gaps, then tackle the runners together. So that's a piece, this is a piece, that's a piece. And then fully weld them as each runner, because if it was welded on the manifold, especially this one, you won't be able to get properly in like the tight sections.
Sweet.
It's going to be a 2-inch bend out of here, and they're going to join together into the T3 flange.
Beautiful. All right, off you go. It's actually ridiculously impressive to see the amount of talent and the amount of time that goes into making one of these manifolds. I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. Freaking phenomenal, eh?
Still a long way to go. The runners are done.
The runners are done, so we can test fit it, which is pretty freaking rad. While we're at it, we've got, what is this thing?
Oh yes, H6 Turbo Subaru Liberty.
H6 Turbo Subaru Liberty.
Subaru, yes.
Subaru? You guys say Subaru? Subaru. Subaru Liberty.
Yeah.
In New Zealand we call this a Subaru Legacy. This thing is freaking sick. It has RPF1s. It's got some cool stainless piping. It's got a big spoolie boy on it. This thing's crazy. How big's the turbo?
GDX 3582R.
All I know is it's about the same size as my face. Cool story, which is not actually that cool, but I find it entertaining. The turbo that's going on my car used to be on this car, but it wasn't big enough for him. I like the size of it, you know? I think it's not about the size, it's about how you use it. Damon built this, and it's mental how he fit this turbo. It's in such a weird spot, eh? Like, these engines are so funny. Like engine, oh, back left corner turbo. Oh, damn, it looks good. So, I've got all the arms done on both sides of the car, and it looks so good. So much tidier and so much adjustability now, which is nice. Should be solid as hell. Now, the last thing I need to do in the rear of the car to get the rear of the car to where we want it is brace the diff. So, I've already started to make the diff brace. This is the start of it here. So, literally what I'm gonna do is come up from the bottom here. We've drilled a hole straight through the bottom so that this goes all the way through the subframe to here. Then we're going to have a plate coming out here, up and in, and this is that other bit of plate that I've already made up. And that will basically hold the diff at the front and the back and stop it from twisting. And there we have it. This is our diff brace. This thing is going to stop us from having any diff bolt problems, which is pretty crazy. Going to give it a quick lick of paint. And that's the diff bracket installed, and it works perfectly as it should. Just tried as hard as I could with a crowbar to move the diff, and it's a no-go. And the bracket's doing its magic. Very stoked with that one. Hopefully that solves our problems at the track. It looks awesome, kind of proud of that. Also got a rear bar on. It's the wrong color, but we'll paint match it. So the car's starting to slowly come together. So time to wrap the video up there. We got a huge amount done on the car over the last 2 days. The thing's literally going to be a completely different car to drive, fixing all the issues that we've wanted to fix for a long time and just doing a bunch of upgrades. Massive shout out to Damon for everything that he does. The dude's insanely skilled and talented. Yeah, I'm seriously stoked. I'm leaving the car with Damon for the next 3 weeks. He's going to finish up the car. I'll be going back and forth. I live about an hour and a half away from him, so I'll be going back and forth, helping him out with stuff as I can and dropping off new parts, Mishimoto radiator, etc, etc. And of course I've got to get work done on the T18 as well, so it feels good to be moving forward and progressing with both cars. Thank you guys so much for watching. The channel's growing so quickly lately, which I'm super stoked about. I hope you guys are enjoying all the videos. Feel free to suggest anything in the comments below. I appreciate everything from you guys, so yeah, thank you, and see you in the next video. Peace.